Hey,
Okay.
Nick.
What are you doing?
Thanks for letting me interview you. I really appreciate it. So, one of the questions I wanted to ask you is, what do you want us to know about you, personally? Like, what do you want us to know about you, us as a community?
For personal, well, my name's Ismael Gutierrez. Most people know me as Izzy. Um, I am actually running for Elko County Commissioner. So on the ballot, you'll see the name Ismael Izzy Gutierrez. So for the personal part of it, as I moved here in 1976, my parents brought me here to Wendover, Utah at the time. And there was a very, very small community on the West Wendover side. So I've been here throughout all its growth. That's like 44 years. So yeah, West Wendover is my home. I've actually I watched the high school that you guys go to now be built. That wasn't even there when I moved here. Uh, and I've always just kind of been involved in the community. So I think a lot of people out there just know a little bit about me on that wise. Like I've been in the medical field since 1987. Started here as an EMT at the Wendover ambulance. Uh, I later went to college, Salt Lake Community College, for X-rays, which is what I'm currently doing now. And I do medical assisting and stuff as well. I've played in a couple bands here in town, both country and rock. Uh, Been able to play in Elko County throughout the area, played in Reno. I've always been involved in volunteering. I volunteered, the Diabetes Coalition that my daughter and I and a doctor that used to be here, we volunteered to educate people about diabetes and things like that because there was a lot of that here. And at the time, the resources were somewhat limited. So we volunteered and did that. I did do some volunteer work when my sister was one of the Girl Scout leaders. They were in need of a medical person whenever they would travel or something. So I would just, take the time and work it into my schedule and, be available in case, somebody got hurt or whatever, doing their little events. Um, Other personal stuff, I love motorcycles. I own 3 Harleys and I enjoy riding every single one of them. My wife and I go on motorcycle at least 2 trips a year. Uh, I'm just kind of out there all over the place, a little bit of everything. So, yeah, that's the more personal side of me. As far as like the political side, I've been, like I said, involved in the community, but I'm actually the only one in West Wendover history who's been elected 3 times. I'm currently serving my 3rd term. And unfortunately, it means that I'm pretty much termed out. And that's why I have decided to run for Elko County Commissioner. In my experience, being in the West Wendover Council, I noticed that a lot of the times, smaller communities like Jackpot, Montello, Wells, Wendover, the list goes on, Oahe, those are all the communities in District 1, which is the community I'm hoping to represent. They get overlooked. And so I kind of want to help out all of them and still be involved. Um, Anything else? I mean, I could go on forever on this topic, but you ask the questions. We'll work through it.
Okay. So, you say that you're running for county commissioner because your term's up in city council. Is there anything else you'd like to run for afterwards, or is that just your plan for now?
My that would be my plan for now. Somebody jokingly told me the other day, they're like, you should go for assemblyman, because I'm unfortunately, John Ellison, I believe only has 2 years left also, and he'll be termed out. 12 years is what he served. He's done a great job. Boy, if I looked into that, I'd have some big shoes to fill. He is a great guy, and he's actually been really wonderful to work with. So yeah, I think for now, let's just try Elko County Commissioner and see how we do at that, and maybe in the future we'll see what it holds.
So what is city commissioner or county commissioner, sorry, and what are the responsibilities?
Oh, my responsibilities would be kind of to oversee a lot of the different departments, not to mention to be able to help out the smaller communities. For example, like Jackpot, right now they're actually doing pretty good as far as volunteers for their fire department, things like that. They're sustaining themselves pretty good. I was just up there, I believe, a little over a week ago, and I was very impressed by how they're working things up there. But they could use a little help. I mean, their income is down. Their casinos closed down due to the COVID. My understanding is a lot of people had to move away, and we need to get these things opened back up, and let's see what they need and just help them out that way. We would basically help out the school district, which would be all of Elko County, and of course you guys are part of that bunch right there. And yeah, so I mean, I would be actually reaching out to you. I mean, not only the teachers, but to the students as well, because I definitely want to hear feedback on what is needed and how can the county help you.
So if you are elected, what would you like to accomplish, or what is your goal?
Oh, actually, I was asked this by the Elko Daily Free Press, and one of the things that I would love to do right away is start looking at the possibilities of being able to have little remote areas for medical in some of these small communities. I mean, I know like Nevada Health Center, some private doctors, even cardiologists, they're doing the telemedicine. So we definitely need to explore that to see if it's even possible. I believe it would be. I mean, we've learned a lot from COVID, and I know it's a terrible time, but I've been focusing on the positive side of it, and what can we do after the pandemic is over, or once we start getting back to our normal, not necessarily a new normal. I'm going for the normal. So yeah, I mean, I'd like to explore that option to see what our modern day technology can offer to some of these smaller communities.
So what are you offering our county that hasn't been offered before?
I think probably a new perspective is what I've been told when I've been out talking to people. Even my opponent, Waldy Bruff, a great guy. I actually met him. I've done a debate with him. He mentioned himself that he's been asked, well, why would Elko County want another cowboy on the commission side? I have not been asked that question. Apparently he has, but I have been approached, and and I don't like the term, but it was actually something that was used to ask me the question. The question was, why do you want to join the good old boys club? Like I said, I don't like that term. I don't think any of that should matter, but I think, like I said, the newer technology and the strides in medicine and my accomplishments as a city council person and my experience, and I've also got a lot of connections, throughout the state, even, from other states even. So I think just to be able to bring in new perspectives and kind of attract new businesses and try to diversify the whole county, so that nobody's dependent on just the casino industry, or, Elko itself is mainly gold mines. So I think it'd be great to, get that energy that I have bottled up inside me, just to get out there and see who we can attract.
So, as you may or may not have heard of, the school board had a meeting about a week ago about bringing our kids back to school. What's your opinion on it?
Yes, I actually heard both sides of it, and this is a discussion that happens quite a bit lately. Me, I would want to make sure that everything is safe. So I would definitely, contact our local medical people. I would contact county health department, school districts. Recently there was a conversation about ventilation in the schools. I think West Wendover's pretty modern. I don't know if that actually applies to us. But if it doesn't, we definitely need to get it looked at or get it fixed. It's safety for you guys, right? I mean, education is very important, but it doesn't do any good if you wind up being sick or developing long-term illnesses out of this. So yeah, I want to get you guys back into school, but I want to do it safely.
So, what do you think, or what do you believe is the most important issue in our county?
In our county right now, boy, I'd have to say unity. We need to bring people together. Everybody, just in this COVID alone, people are like just against each other. Wear a mask, don't wear a mask. Let's get the kids back into school. Let's keep them out of school. Just everything. We need to really get some leadership in there, unite people, and just understand each other. I mean, I think that's the first step in actually accomplishing something in this whole community. Is we need to start working together. Otherwise, we're never going to get anywhere.
So, what's been your strategy for campaigning? Do you put up posters or door hangers? Or what's just your strategy?
Well, I've happened to be very fortunate in that just from my past 3 campaigns. So I've made a lot of contacts. On this one here, this one's actually a little bigger campaign than your local city, city council. So I reached out to some folks, and to my surprise, I was very fortunate. I've got, every year we file a contributions and expense report that we have to report whether, when people give us money and people do things in kind and what we spend that money on. And I think if you go in there, you'll find that I was actually supported by Maverick Gaming. Now, Maverick Gaming, they own probably like 22 casinos, 4 of them being here in Elko County. There was the Nugget, the Red Garter, JR's, and the Red Lion. So that's some pretty big names. And also, I was fortunate enough to obtain some financial contribution from the Peppermill Corporation. And as we all know, I mean, that's the Rainbow Montego and Peppermill. Then Deep Roots Harvest donated. I did get some money from the DNC, and my latest connection is I'm fortunate enough to have the representation of the tribe that's located there in Elko. So the colony, the band that's up there, is supporting me, and I'm scheduled to meet up with them sometime later this week. So yeah, I've been really fortunate. So with all that, I can put up posters. I'm actually going to be having social media, little commercials coming out. So I hope it doesn't upset you when my face pops up right in the middle of you going through your Facebook. So yeah, that's pretty much my strategy is name recognition, get it out there. Unfortunately, my face has to be in it because a lot of people may not know the name, but then once they see my face, like, oh, hey, that's that guy that used to come out here with the Midnight Riders, or, just different areas that I might have met people, and hopefully they recognize me and realize, yeah, he was a really good guy, which I think I am. I've been told I am. So yeah, that's my strategy: is name recognition, support from everybody, and let everybody know what I'm out to do, and hopefully make some positive changes.
So this is your third term in city council. Why do you think that's been? Why do you think people have voted for you 3 times?
At first I thought that it was just luck. But as I went through my first couple years, people were telling me like, well, we voted for you because we knew you were different. You come from a different industry. You weren't one of the casino employees. We knew you would have a different way of thinking. And they were right. I mean, that's exactly why I went into the to be a city councilman, was to try to change some of those things and bring in a fresh outlook from someone that wasn't a casino employee. Now, I respect all the casino employees, and I definitely support them, and there's nothing wrong with that, obviously. But I think that was the one thing that people liked about me. And then once I went to work for the people, that's when they started saying, okay, this guy, we're going to give him a second term. And obviously went through a third term. I was in many council meetings, many occasions, I was a lone vote, whether I was for something or against something, just because of my mentality and how I was approaching it. But in reality, it wasn't my own opinion. I was getting these opinions from different people, and they would approach me and they'd say, we think it's a good idea, or we don't think it's a good idea. And that's what I would do. My slogan was your choice to have a voice. And that's definitely what I've done, is given the people a voice. And I believe that's why they kept putting me in there, because they felt like they had a voice, and changes have happened since then.
So what makes you a better choice than from all the candidates that are running?
Excuse me, you broke up a little bit. What was that?
What makes you a better choice from all the candidates that are running for county commissioner?
Okay, so well, there is different county commissioners running, but the one that I'm running for is District 1. Boy, I don't really like the word better, because like I said, Mr. Bruff is a great man. I respect him just in the fact that he stepped up to serve, his county. You got to give him kudos for that. But, when it comes to different ways of thinking, clearly I think that me being able to get out there and get some of these connections and start working across party lines, make phone calls to different people when we need help. Nobody ever has the answers to everything. I'm pretty knowledgeable on government and things that need to happen, but I'm also very fortunate to have contacts. Like, I can call one of my friends who's a battalion chief in Virginia City. I can call him and say, hey, Jeremy, the fire department out here in Elko is, facing this challenge, or, what are you guys doing up there? And, I think that's, like I said, not necessarily makes me better, but I think there's definitely, I guess, I don't know, I guess for a better word, we can use better, but no one's ever better than others. We all have good qualities, but I think that's just kind of what I can offer.
So that's all my questions. Ms. Durham, do you have anything you'd like to say?
Why, yes. First of all, thank you so much, Councilman Gutierrez, for taking the time to meet with us and explain, just introduce yourself to the voters and explain why you're running. I want to take this opportunity, if it's okay, to clarify, because this has been an issue that has come up with each one of our interviews where we address the school reopenings. And I don't know if you were able to hear last night in the council meeting, but we spoke a little bit about the ventilation. And so in my public comment, it was my vent, as I was trying to be punny, was that, so we have for over 10 years had a heating and cooling problem here in the building. First of all, it's a swamp cooler. It's several different units. We have valves that get stuck. Sometimes the water evaporates. And so on a really hot day, the temperature doesn't get down low enough. And sometimes it actually blows hot air into the rooms. And on other days, when it's really cold, it's blowing cold air into the room. But what we have come to learn, and you mentioned, you know, COVID has taught us a lot.
Are you sure about that?
To find the silver lining. And so we learned a lot about the difference between ventilation and heating and cooling. And so I just want to clarify for everybody, because I know that I was one that went and spoke out and used the word ventilation, and it was through no malice or through any sense of trying to think of a word right now, and this will be a perfect time for Cameron to do his editing and put something funny in.
Woo! It's showtime! Woo!
Think. It was through no malice, and it was not through any ill intent or try to be, you know, misleading in any sense of the word. It was simply through ignorance is the word you're looking for, lack of knowledge.
Do you ever look at someone and wonder what is going on inside their head?
Knowledge.
And now that we have that knowledge, I want to reassure everybody that the ventilation system in West Wendover is more than adequate. Trust me, we get plenty of air blowing into the room. It just might not be the right temperature of the air.
Who touched the thermostat?
So I just wanted to make that clarification, because I think it's very important, you know, as we're going forward and making these decisions about, you know, when to bring the kids back and when is it, you know, safe and what precautions. Ventilation is like number 2 on the list, right after, you know, how prevalent is the virus in your community, and then the precautions. And so I just want to make sure everybody understands the ventilation system here works great. The heating and air, well, that's another story. So.
Well, you know, thank you for clarifying that. And, you know, that fits right into my statement earlier when I said no one person knows everything. But clearly you were able to reach out to the right people who have the answers, and you're able to clarify that. And that would be my hope, is that working together, you know, I can reach out to the right people. I can, you know, you might get a phone call from me and saying, hey, Mrs. Durham, you know, the education board district is thinking about this. What's your personal opinion? Or, you know, I'd call my friend, Mr. Trevort, you know, in the Elko area, and just get their opinions. Just reaching out to the actual people that are involved in that. So yeah, I mean, like, just like you did is what I would do.
Yeah. Well, thank you for that. And yeah, I think that's really important. And that's been one of the things that, you know, I've been trying to stress, is that everybody that's got skin,
guts and bones, muscles, blood
in the game has got to have a seat at the table when making these decisions. You know, without a doubt, we got to get our kids back in the classroom, without a doubt, not only for the academic, but for the social, emotional. And, you know, I mean, these kids have worked hard, you know, our juniors and seniors especially. I mean, not to take away from the lower classmen or anybody else, but, you know, there is something special about that junior and senior year. And, you know, we'd like to be able to figure out something there. But I just wanted to take the moment to clarify that issue, not only for you, but for everybody that has been following Fawn as she's been conducting these interviews, that it's been a repetitive thing. And I just think it's been very important that we clear that issue up. So having said that, again, I want to thank you so much. And what we would like to do is just give you the last word for you to speak to the voters and tell them anything that you would like to tell them. And once again, Fawn, great job.
Yes, Fawn, you've done a great job. Actually, I've seen a couple of your other interviews. I seen the one with Jeff Durham, and wow, I mean, he's a great friend of mine, and we do speak a lot about, you know, different issues in the town and things like that. But when you questioned him and he opened up about some of those answers, well, that guy is a thinker. I you know, definitely be proud to serve on any council or, you know, committee or anything with him. And then obviously our mayor, everybody likes our mayor, maybe one or two, but it's because they don't know him. Yeah, so you've done a definite good job on that. And as far as, you know, talking to the voters, I would encourage everybody to, I'm going to share this video and hopefully people can kind of see a different side of me. But I would always encourage somebody to go watch the debate that I had with Mr. Bruff with the Elko Daily Free Press. And I think that will inform you a lot on who I am and how I think versus who he is and how he thinks. You know, I think it may help you decide on who to vote for. So I would definitely encourage that. And then just let everybody know that I am willing to work with pretty much anybody, cross party lines within my own party, you know, especially in our level of government, city council or Elko County commissioner. You know, we're not out there creating these big laws that are going to affect people's rights. You know, your Second Amendment, your First Amendment, things like that. Those are for the big league state party people. Those are the guys that worry about that. As far as for us, you know, we should basically be nonpartisan and, you know, take care of our residents. And that's what I would do. I just like I did in West Wendover, we would accomplish many things throughout the county at this point. And I would definitely give the residents a voice, just like I did here in town, and diversify the economy so that if we ever do face a challenge such as the COVID, I mean, I hope not, but we would be better prepared, and you would trust that I would be out there doing the right thing and knocking on doors if I had to, you know, just let the voters know that, you know, I will work for you. You elect me, I will do the job that I was elected to do, just like I have been for my last 3 terms.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Councilman Gutierrez, and hopefully soon to be County Commissioner Gutierrez.
Yeah, I hope so too. But, you know, if it doesn't happen, I would still be out there helping people. I'd still volunteer. At this point, I've made, you know, good connections throughout the county. And so I would even continue to offer help to the other smaller communities, even if I don't become the candidate that they're looking for. But, you know, like I said, I hope I am. I hope, you know, I get the vote. Ismael Izzy Gutierrez, County Commissioner.
We're going to end it on that. That's a good one.
Yeah. All righty.
Thank you very much.
Again, and thank you for being patient with me. I'm dressed like this because I literally just walked in my front door from vacation. I was up in Montana, and when you texted me earlier, it took me a little bit to get back to you, but I had to wait to stop at a gas station to respond. So thank you again.
Absolutely. 100% worth the wait.
All right. Thank you. Have a good evening.
All right. We'll see it. Great
Bye.
job, Fawn.
Yep.
Thanks, guys.